Welcome back to the garage. Yeah, it's a different Beetle this time. So you just got your first camera, or maybe you've had a camera for a really long time. Today I'm going to share 5 things that I think can either help you advance a little quicker in photography, things I wish I had known when I first started, or if you've been doing this for a long time, things that I think we should all think about more often to, reflect on a little bit and remember why we all do this thing that we love that is called photography. But first, if you're new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Adam. This is my YouTube channel. Adam Has a Camera, where I walk around and make videos of me taking photos for 20 people to watch. So thanks for being here. Like I said, I'm gonna share 5 things, so stick around to the end. And I'm only saying that because that's what YouTube says I have to do so that you'll watch more than 2 minutes of this. And yeah, let's jump into the first one. All right, the first one, obsessing over gears. Gears, cars. We're in a garage, right? No, obsessing over gear. One of the biggest mistakes I think people make when they first start is thinking that having the best camera equals the best photos. And that's just not the case. Your camera is just a tool. So my advice to you, instead of spending hours researching what camera to buy in 2026 or what lens to buy, or should you go Sony, should you go Fujifilm, should you go Leica, should you do all these things, should you spend your entire life savings on a camera and a lens, take what you can get and get comfortable with that and get comfortable with how different lighting affects different things and how different, times of day and different environments and different types of photography affect the outcome of what you get, and get to know all those things and get to know that camera really well before you really start thinking too much about all the nuances, because you can get down a really deep rabbit hole with camera gear and your wallet will not be happy with you once you start doing that. Trust me. All right, number 2. Learn lighting before anything else. Literally, the way photography works is capturing light on a photosensitive medium, whether that be film, whether that be a sensor, whether that be, I don't know if there's anything else, but if it's one of those 2 things. So knowing how the light affects those things is the most important things. And I'll be honest, when I first started doing photography, I had no concept of this at all. I was so focused because I was shooting BMX. I was so focused on just capturing the trick. And it wasn't until much later in my career where I really started to understand lighting and how it affects the way things look. And I would just see photos that I liked and not understand why they were different than anything I was taking. And it wasn't until I started really understanding natural light, mostly for me, but lighting in general, that things started to click. No pun intended. God, that was a bad joke. Okay, so some examples of this are knowing what kind of light you're working with. Is it really soft light in the morning or in the evening with golden hour? Is it harsh light in midday? Is it artificial light? Is it natural light? These kinds of things, study them and pay attention to them. And as you're taking more photos, write down and take notes of, the environment you were in. And if you like how the photo came out, recreate that. If you don't like it, change it. It's literally as simple as that. All right, number 3, composition. Composition is literally what you see in the photo and how things are arranged in the photo. And there's techniques and there's rules that everyone on the internet will tell you that you're really bad at, especially if you're me. But understanding these techniques in the beginning, things like rule of thirds, framing, leading lines, I'm sure there's other examples I'm forgetting. Those are just kind of the 3 that I work with a lot. Simplicity. Those kinds of things will help you, give you a benchmark. And if you accomplish those things when you're shooting in the beginning, you'll inherently come out with a better photo than someone who doesn't know these things. Now, these are just rules, and rules are meant to be broken. I'm a punk rocker at heart. I, broke the law for fun as a kid riding BMX bikes. So don't nail these down that you have to follow all these rules or techniques to get good composition. I think composition is what you make of it. And if you take a photo and you like the way it looks, you like crowded scenes, someone who likes more simple scenes is going to tell you that your composition sucks because there's a billion things going on in it. But if that's the mood that you're trying to convey of chaos and things happening everywhere, then that's good composition. If you're trying to take a photo that is supposed to feel more serene and peaceful, but there's a billion things scattered around, then that composition doesn't work for what you're trying to portray. So just understand all these things are guidelines, and that use them to your advantage when it makes sense to use them. And those are things you'll learn as you do this more. All right, number 4, take more photos than you think. Film's really expensive right now. So if you shoot film, I know it's really easy to want to just take one photo and one frame of what you're looking at. But if you look back at the greats, when film didn't cost $10 billion to get processed, sometimes they would shoot an entire roll of 35 millimeter film. So 24 or 36 exposures or whatever it is now, on one scene. And they're trying different angles, and they're trying different lighting, and they're trying, different compositions and different arrangements and different directing and all these things to get one shot. So I think we need to keep in mind that it's okay to overshoot, and that does not mean that you're a bad photographer. I've said in my other videos, I shoot construction for a living, and I'll go to a job site and spend, a couple hours there. And sometimes I'll shoot like 700 photos while I'm there, and I'll come back and I'll edit and deliver like 20 or 30. So I'm shooting a lot of the same thing, but like if I'm shooting an excavator dumping dirt into a haul truck, like I might shoot 30 frames of a couple times that the bucket is, dumping the dirt. So all that for one photo, like, yeah, because that extra frame, the dirt could be falling in a cooler way. The light could be hitting something. There could be more dust coming off. There could be just these things that are like that little bit of sauce that makes the photo better. So don't be afraid to overshoot, especially if you're shooting digital. Like, it's literally free. You can clear your memory card every time you come back. So fill that bitch up, shoot a lot, and go through them all and kind of analyze why some things worked and why some things didn't. And you won't feel like you need to shoot that much, but I still think it's good practice to do it when the situation allows. Now, I'm no street photographer. Probably saw that in my last video. Check it out. I'll put a thing to it here. Yeah, I'm no street photographer, but I understand in those situations, you can't sit there and bang off 30 frames of a person walking in a crosswalk, chasing a seagull or whatever you're shooting. So if you can, overshoot until you feel like you have a good grasp on things. And I think, like I've said, this video can be for people that have been doing this for a long time. I think we like to preach, and I've said it in some of my videos, slowing down is nice. And I think in certain situations, that's very true. Slowing down and just shooting a very intentional frame can be nice. But even if you're shooting a very intentional frame and you're composing it and you're taking the time and making sure everything's perfect for you, still shoot a different angle and put that same amount of effort into the other angle. And that way, you never know. You could come back and this shot that you spent 10 minutes setting up that you thought was perfect, something sucks in it that you couldn't see through the little EVF or viewfinder or whatever you're shooting through. And the other angle could be better. And when you were out there shooting, you didn't see it. So I don't know, something to think about. Listen to me or don't. I don't know. If you made it this far, thank you. I'm not sure why you're still listening to me, but it's cool that you're here. So thanks. The 5th one, I'm just going to say it. Do your own thing. Like, I've kind of noticed as I've started posting these videos online, like it's really easy to get wrapped up in the criticism that you get from people that you don't know. And if you're shooting things that you like, that's all that matters in all of this. If you're doing this to become famous and rich, good luck. If you're doing this because you enjoy it, that's what matters. So shoot the things that you enjoy shooting. Shoot them in a way that you like. No great photographer that made a name for themselves got there by just shooting sterile photos that everyone's seen before. They all get there because they're doing something that you can either feel the passion in and you can tell that they really care about what they're shooting, or because they're doing something different. Now, that doesn't mean just go crazy and take bad photographs and expect to be famous from it. There's a line. But I think it's more important to shoot things that you can tell that the person shooting was into when they were shooting it. And you can feel the emotion and you can portray that through photography. And I think that's one of my favorite things. I'm dumb and I get attached to things and places. I have old cars. I'm really attached to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. It means a lot to my family. And anytime I shoot photos there, those photos mean more to me than anything I could shoot around York. And the photos I've been shooting of my family mean more to me than anything. They're not all great photos, that's for sure, but they mean a lot to me. And I think anyone that knows me and has followed me and has seen my photography progress over my life can feel that through the photos and hear me talk about it and see the difference in when I talk about that versus when I talk about the photos I shoot downtown that I'm doing just as an exercise. So all that to say, have fun with this. Don't get too wrapped up in the bullshit online, and don't buy an expensive camera if you don't need to buy an expensive camera. So yeah, thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you have any more tips, let's start a conversation in the comments. Let's get these people that are getting into the industry all the advice they can get. Let's get all these people that are on their high horses that think they're the best photographer in the world on the internet, but you've never heard of. Maybe let's calm it down a little bit and reflect a little bit and make photography fun. So yeah, with that, I'm going to end this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay crusty.